Buddy. Today on Growing Idaho, it is a struggle finding a way to buy your first home in this housing crisis. Prices keep climbing, inventory is still too low, and mortgage rates are not dropping anymore. In fact, they're on the rise again. Look at this graph right here. Freddie Mac reporting the average 30-year rate is now at 6.32%. That's up from 6.08 just 2 weeks ago, although it is still down more than a point from this time last year. The thing is, lots of potential home buyers I heard from expected that with the Federal Reserve lowering its key rate, mortgage rates would plummet right after that. Well, according to Boise Regional Realtor's president, Elizabeth Hume, the mortgage rates actually dropped in anticipation of the key rate dropping. So the rates are pretty much now where they are going to be for a while, right above 6%. And if you're hoping to see rates around 3% again, stop that. Indicators are that we aren't going to see rates like that again in our lifetime unless we have another pandemic. And nobody wants that. All that follows a report from the National Association of Realtors that the average household in America would need to earn about $114,000 a year to afford a median-priced home, so like an average home. That's more than doubled since just 2021. Idaho is about the same. And by the way, the average household in Idaho makes 40 grand less than that 114 grand figure. So what are potential home buyers, especially first-time home buyers, supposed to do right now? How can they break into a market with prices they cannot afford because of low inventory and lower wages? Well, last week we told you that Elizabeth Hume said step one in buying a home can be done by anyone because it doesn't actually require any money. That's because step one is simply making a plan by first talking to a lender.
I'm guilty of it too. I don't want to go to the lender and ask how much money I can borrow when I think I might not be in the right position, or maybe I missed a credit card payment and I don't want anyone to know about it. So I don't want to, don't want to expose my little soft underbelly of lending money. And when you go and talk to a lender, they will tell you what you need to do to get in a home. They will tell you how much money you need to save, what it looks like, about how much money you could afford to get into a home. And it allows a first-time home buyer especially a chance to go out there and make a plan. If I don't know how much money I need to save, or I'm making a guess that I need $20,000 or $100,000 to buy a house, I'm doing myself a disservice by not going out and getting that information firsthand. What is it that I can afford and how much do I really need to have to put down? Because it's not as hard as people think.
Now, that doesn't mean it's not hard. It's just not as hard as you might think. There's a program for first-time home buyers, for instance, through Idaho Housing and Finance that only requires 0.5% down payment. Now, your monthly payment would be higher, but it's still a way to get in the game at least and start building some equity and generational wealth.